The single biggest thing that holds back trade businesses from reaching 100K a month or even $1 million a month is sales. And what I wanted to demonstrate in this video is why that's the case, and no amount of marketing is ever going to fix this issue if you can't sell your customers. What I mean by that is no matter what you do, like what method right here you use in order to get more leads for the business, which you need to grow, it doesn't matter, because if you don't have any sales process of any kind, you're never going to be able to close the customers based on this interest. And what I mean by that is that there are always 3 tiers of leads: tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3. Tier 1 is a lead who has a problem, is aware of the solution, and wants you to fix it. Tier 2 is aware of the problem, is aware of the solution, but might not be interested in doing business with you. And then tier 3 is someone who is still qualified for your service, but they're not problem aware or even solution aware. Just because you have a lead that doesn't want to buy right now does not mean that it's a completely dead lead and a complete waste of time. And what feedback I'm getting is, unless a lead is red hot, ready to buy right now, it's a useless lead. And what I want to do today is change your mind a little bit to show you it doesn't matter what tier the lead is. If you find a way to communicate with them properly, you'll find out that you can close the leads that look like total junk at first, but actually that could very well use your service. And the first thing you need to understand is that there's such a thing as the purchase funnel. Up here at the top, this is awareness. So these are people that are your market potential. These are people, and if you're in the trade industry, these are going to be people that have a house. That is someone who is qualified for your service. It doesn't matter if they don't want your thing right now, they're still qualified because they can buy from you, and just because they're not buying from you right now does not make them unqualified. And that's the whole basis of this video, right? Is that just because they don't want to buy right now does not mean that they are a useless lead. And I'm going to show you how to interact with them differently so that you can actually sell them. From there, you've got people that have interest. So these are people that are qualified, and at the same time, they are interested in the service that you provide. Next, you've got desire. So these are people that are red hot, ready to go right now. And then these are the action takers. So these are people that have already become your customers and they are in your funnel. They have bought something from you. But these 3 tiers of leads, so we got tier 1, we got tier 2, and we got tier 3. We need to interact with these people differently so that we can actually sell them something. And I'm going to show you how to do that right now. When we get a new lead, the very first thing we need to do is see if they're qualified or unqualified. Because if they are inquiring with you and they don't even own a house, then they're obviously not even qualified. So you need to determine that very quickly. So we've got qualified and unqualified. Now, if they have a house, that means that they are qualified. It doesn't make them unqualified just because they don't want your service right now. It is still a qualified lead, and we will deal with them effectively. Then we will adjust this. So tier 1, tier 2, and then tier 3. We need to treat these leads completely differently, because there's no point in trying to sell a tier 3 on our service when they don't want it right now. So tier 1 is quite simple. You can just simply talk to them, see what they want. If it's a hot water cylinder and it's burst, so they need something done right now, you can very easily ask the right questions, provide a correct price, and then sell them on the job. Tier 2 is someone that might be having intermittent issues with their hot water system, but they're not sure if they're going to go right now. With this lead, you need to ask them the appropriate questions to get them emotional so that they can then base their decision based on logic. And if you don't know what this means, is that the reason that people buy is because of emotion. They get an emotional attachment to whatever you're selling, and that is the reason they buy. And then from there, they justify it using logic. There is no point in trying to sell someone a hot water system purely based on logic because you haven't found the emotion behind it. What I mean by that is if you're just asking basic questions like what the specs are of the current system, how many family members they have, and all that sort of thing, you're not getting to the root emotion behind why they want your thing. And if you don't believe me, do people want a 250 liter hot water cylinder at their house, or do they actually want hot showers that is reliable every day? Do they want a system that actually lasts and they can consistently have showers all day with all their family members? Do they want to come home after a long day of work and just have a nice hot shower? Or do they want the 250 liter hot water cylinder? And you'll find very quickly they don't want the 250 liter hot water cylinder at all. They want what the 250 liter hot water cylinder will do for them. So you need to go on to ChatGPT and make a script that will get these people over the line, and you need to know exactly what all your customers can say, and you should know this because you would have had plenty of conversations by now, and you need to have a perfect rebuttal based on what they say. I know you guys are gonna say that, oh, we get a lot of price shoppers. Of course you get a lot of price shoppers because they haven't seen any value in your service compared to the plumber down the road. But if you get them emotional based on the correct script, now all of a sudden you look and sound different to all the plumbers in your local area, and that is the whole point of the script. You want to sound different. You want to give people a reason to buy from you. And if you look at all the biggest companies in the world right now, why do they do so well? The reason the top companies are so successful, and even the top trade companies in your industry, is because they've trained salespeople to get people emotional and then base their decision off logic. They've found a way to communicate with their customers correctly that can get them to where they want to go, because everyone has dream outcomes that they want to get to, and you as the tradesman need to stop asking questions like a McDonald's worker, like what they want, and instead ask salesperson questions to make sure that what they're getting is the right thing for them. Now, tier 3 leads, these are obviously going to be the hardest ones to close. So here we need a new script to deal with these tier 3 leads, because these are going to be your price shoppers. These are going to be people that are just looking around. You need to give them the correct information automatically, so you're not wasting time on the phone with these people. So what I mean by that is if someone is just looking for a price and you ask all the relevant questions to see if they're willing to get out of their price question and it doesn't work, you can simply send them more information via text and email, and then they can come back to you. That way, you're not wasting time with a lead that is definitely not going to buy from you, and they haven't given you the right buying signals. So if they haven't given you the right buying signals, there's no point in trying to pitch them at all, because you're just sending out quotes that are never going to get accepted anyway. So you need to completely remove these people from your pipeline. And therefore, if you send them stuff automatically, you're not spending time with them, and you'll find that they actually do close as well if you give them the correct information. And what I encourage you to do is actually call some of the biggest competitors in your area and just see how they sell. What you'll find very quickly is they've got salespeople employed, and their only job is just to sell. Sell, 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 because I need to remind you that your business consists of leads, then it consists of sales, and then finally, we've got fulfillment. You can get all the leads in the world, you can increase that, but if you can't find a way to sell these leads appropriately and treat them how they need to be treated based on their purchase intent, then you're never going to be able to actually grow the business, because what you'll find is more leads does not always equal more sales. So sales goes down and then fulfillment goes down, but you spent a lot of money getting leads. Find a way to communicate with your customers appropriately, and you're going to make significantly more income for the business. I strongly encourage that you get sales training. All the biggest companies have had sales training at some point in their careers. And if you need someone to help you with sales training specifically for trades, you can actually book a call with my team below, and we can not only teach you how to sell one-on-one or one-to-many, but we can actually develop scripts for your business specifically targeting these different tiers of leads, so that you make sure that there's no leads being wasted, and you're not just trying to sell the tier 1 and completely leave out what might just be 90% of the market because you didn't know how to communicate with them correctly. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more like it, click that like and subscribe button below, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one.